What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 764 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you from Underground Studios, and back in the saddle, it's HK Harrison Crements, ready to rock and roll as we sit here on a Wednesday night after the Phillies lose a series to the White Sox, and we don't give a flying damn because, Harrison, I've got my popcorn ready. No free ads. Shout out to Regal, but no free ads. I got my popcorn ready because Davey Big Dick Dombrowski came through tonight as JHOAN DURAN is a Philadelphia Philly.
Well, we finally got a closer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
like since we've had a consistently good closer.
We got him. We got him. We will also give you the correct pronunciation of Mr. Duran's name because I found a video that someone quote tweeted from 2022 and he made the Twins roster. So that way all of you hoagie mouth freakazoids out there can pronounce his name correctly and not sound like a deranged WIP caller. We will talk about Mr. Duran as this trade is just, it could potentially go down as the greatest trade Dave Dombrowski has made in his Phillies tenure. We will talk about the return that the Twins will get from the Phillies. The New York Mets made some trades today that pale in comparison to this deal that Dave Dombrowski made for the Phillies. And Dave said he's not done yet. He's not done yet. We still have all another day before the deadline comes and goes. So we will talk about that. We will gear up for Alumni Weekend at Citizens Bank Park. Harris, I'm going to be there 2 out of 3 days. I'll be there on Friday for Jimmy Rollins' Wall of Fame induction night, where Mr. Duran will be available for the fight-ins. And then I will be there on Sunday, part of my season ticket package for Sunday Night Baseball. The only thing that I'm upset about is I will not be in the building for Saturday's game when the expected pitching matchup is Zach Wheeler against Tarek Skubal.
Oh my God, that's gonna be an insane matchup.
I'm gonna do it again. Saturday, get your popcorn ready because that's gonna be Cy Young versus Cy Young. It's gonna be impeccable. We will talk some trade deadline, some potential more moves for Dave Dombrowski to make going into Thursday's deadline, which I believe is at 6 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. We'll talk all about that. We'll do some underground stats and info. We'll talk some training camp quotes because Jalen Hurts is out here delivering for the people. And then we'll talk some Philadelphia Union because they continue to be en fuego. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. And I did throw a gauntlet out there, Harrison, on the tweet machine. I said once we get to 4K, we're very close to 4,000 followers on Twitter, we will be doing a Dewani artwork giveaway.
Let's go.
So if you want the artwork giveaway, go follow us on the tweet machine. Follow us on Instagram too. We're very close to 2,000 followers on Instagram. We definitely want to hit that milestone as well. But we're on every social platform. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow. Plus, it helps every show on our network continue to grow. So please keep subscribing on Apple, Spotify, and leaving those 5-star reviews. And of course, guys, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, minus the house show with Pat Pitts, which has its very own YouTube channel and podcast feed. Definitely go subscribe there as well. We just recorded episode 2 tonight. It was an absolute banger of a show. But you get our original 6, as they say in the hockey world, on our YouTube channel. We are at 1,089 subscribers, which means we are a very slim 11 subscribers away from our next 100 subscriber milestone, which means you guys get Moonshot Mania merch on the storefront. So keep subscribing to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show, guys, is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. Harrison, you know how I was telling you about the comic convention that's coming to the brand new City of Vineland Convention Center in November? Well, they just confirmed their first big name that will be there. Harrison, can I interest you in Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Melissa Joan Hart is going to be in South Jersey, baby. Let's rock and roll. Maybe we get Melissa Joan Hart on the pod. Who knows?
Who knows?
Kind of lit. But the calendar is accessible at vinelandcity.org, and it's a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems, providing our breaking news coverage during this MLB trade deadline, and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Harrison, I don't even care about the White Sox series, to be quite honest with you. Yes, the Phillies lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. They took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. They took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. They'll come home to play the Detroit Tigers this weekend for Alumni Weekend. But Dave Dombrowski did the thing, and I'm here to give everyone the correct. I'm gonna loop it 3 times. Here is the correct pronunciation of new Phillies closer, JHOAN DURAN. It rhymes, so that's how you can remember. But here is Mr. Duran pronouncing his name for you, okay? This comes courtesy of Dustin Morse on Twitter from April 4th, 2022. He is the Minnesota Twins communications and public affairs and player relations correspondent. So here you go. This is how we pronounce new Phillies closer's name correctly.
My name is JHOAN DURAN. JHOAN DURAN. My name is JHOAN DURAN. JHOAN DURAN.
And we'll do it one more time.
My name is JHOAN DURAN. JHOAN DURAN.
JHOAN DURAN is a Philadelphia Philly. And not only do the Phillies have a closer, Harrison, they got the best relief pitcher on the market this trade deadline. And we have a cinematic masterpiece coming to Citizens Bank Park as early as Friday. He's going to be available for the team on Friday for the beginning of the Tigers series. And this man's entrance from the bullpen is going to blow the non-existent roof off of Citizens Bank Park.
If he was blowing the roof off of the Twins Stadium, just imagine how bad he's going to do it in front of a bunch of rabid Philadelphian fans.
He is electricity personified. He is 27 years old. He will finish this season at the age of 27. He is under club control through 2028. So he's like going into 2028, he becomes a free agent. 2 years of arbitration, which means Dave could sign this guy like to a massive extension in the offseason. Will be good to go.
Yeah.
He's 27 years old, like I mentioned, a 2.3 WAR for a closer, pitching in Minnesota, who, for the record, everyone, the Minnesota Twins this year are sitting at 51 and 57. They're not a good baseball team. He's 6-4 with a 2.01 ERA in 49 and a third innings, 53 strikeouts, a whip of 1.176, 16 saves in 49 games. The dude is a monster. And he's just scratching the surface, in my opinion. Like, he is just bursting onto the scene as an elite closer. He's just hitting his prime. He made his major league debut in 2022. And this guy, the entire month of July, late June, when we start talking about the trade deadline and potential guys on the block, Duran was number one by a wide margin of potential relievers available to teams going into this trade deadline. And the Phillies got him for 2 top 10 prospects in their system, number 3 and number 6. We'll get to those in a moment. 2 top 100 prospects in all of Major League Baseball, which I find it hysterical. There's only been 2 top 100 prospects traded so far this trade season, and the Phillies traded both of them. But this, to me, is so much different than years past, when you go and get an Estevez, when you go and get a Michael Lorenzen, when you go and get Tanner Banks, when you go and get Noah Syndergaard. And that's not a slight to any of those guys, especially the Lorenzen family. We love them. They listen to the podcast to this day. Going and getting the number one consensus reliever on the trade market for what you had to give up for a guy that's under club control for 2.5 seasons is highway robbery by Dave Dombrowski. This is vintage Dave Dombrowski, where you utilize your pieces on the chessboard to go and capture the grand prize, and that is Duran. He is the crown jewel of this reliever market this trade season, and the fact that you only gave up 2 guys who are not currently on the major league roster. I know we saw one of them this year.
Yeah.
But this is smart. You didn't give up your top 4 prospects in my book.
Yeah.
You know, some people had Eduardo Tate, who we'll talk about, as the Phillies' number 3 prospect, but you didn't give up Andrew Painter. You didn't give up Aiden Miller. You did not give up Justin Crawford, and you didn't give up Arun Escobar. Those, to me, are your top 4, like, crown jewels in the system that, like, unless a top 20 player in all of baseball became available, like a Mike Trout or something like that, then I'm like, okay, let's, like, listen and see what that entails. But none of those guys are available right now. So you hold on to those guys, and you utilize the rest of your farm system. And because you only gave up 2 players, as opposed to what the New York Mets did today, giving up 6 players to only get back 2, you now have more ammunition to go and get a big thumping bat to put in the middle of this lineup.
Yeah.
Masterclass by Dave Dombrowski.
I love what he did. I mean, am I going to miss Mick Abel? Yes, because I think he was fantastic. But, you know, we needed a closer bat. And going out and getting one of the best in the game, yeah, no issue with that for bits and pieces. Like, I wouldn't say it was, you know, a bag of chips and a Wawa gift card, because Mick Abel is talented, but he definitely needed to step away from Philadelphia and play somewhere new in order to get his major league career started off on the right note. And I think
that's not even like saying that he couldn't handle Philadelphia.
Yeah,
it's just the long term, like. You still have Christopher Sanchez here, who's going to be your long-term ace, in my opinion. You still have Aaron Nola for the next 6 seasons. You still have, hopefully, Ranger Suarez moving forward. Yeah. Luzardo signed through 2026. Painter's still in the organization. Wheeler's here through the end of his contract at the very least. Where's Mick Abel going to find time to be a consistent starter in this rotation? I don't know if he ever was going to, and I guess we'll never know. But going to Minnesota gives Mick Abel an opportunity when he's ready to be a number 2, number 3 starter for the Twins in a much easier division.
Yep.
And give him a chance to be a consistently good major league starter.
Exactly. And I think this works out for everybody involved. And again, catching prospect, he was good, but as we were talking about earlier, odds are he's going to be a DH before he's a catcher in the MLB. So,
yeah, Eduardo Tate, a lot of people are losing their minds about losing Eduardo Tate. And I get it to a degree. The kid has shown unbelievable signs of power, just absolutely roping home runs in the minors. I don't know if he can be a catcher long term, even at the AAA level, let alone the major league level. Also, on top of that, he's 19. Okay. He's not Bryce Harper getting called up to the majors at 19. He's not Mike Trout getting called up to the majors in his teenage years. He was still in single A, and he's not on the same timeline trajectory that this current Phillies team is on, that they're trying to win a championship, if not more, this year and next year at the very least. Eduardo Tate was not sniffing the majors anytime soon. I think his projected arrival in the majors was like 2027 at the earliest, maybe 2028. That's far out from now, where you still have JT. Who knows what you go and do to supplement once JT's career is over. But at the end of the day, I don't know if Eduardo Tate was going to be a catcher at the major league level. And up until the past couple of weeks, guarantee 85% of Phillies fans had no clue who Eduardo Tate was.
Yeah.
I wish him nothing but the best. I want him to be successful, obviously, unless he's playing against the Phillies. But the fact that Dave gave up Mick Abel and Eduardo Tate to get the stamp of approval number 1 reliever on the market, who has 2.5 years of control, is only 27 years old, and throws 103 miles an hour, is a masterclass of a trade. Now, like you said, we will talk Mick Abel a little bit more in just a few moments, but to only trade 2 prospects, Harrison, and I know they're 2 top 10 prospects according to MLB.com, but you still have so much ammunition now to go and maybe trade for Eugenio Suarez, to go and trade for Luis Robert Jr., to go and trade for Stephen Kwan. Like, the possibilities of a big bat coming to this team are still exponentially a possibility compared to teams like the Mets, who traded 6 players today to go and get 2 relievers. Much more of a possibility than what the Yankees have done. Sure, they went and got Ryan McMahon and Ahmed Rosario, but what does that do? This is calculated by Dave Dombrowski in such a smart way, and I love it because a lot of people are ready to write Dave Dombrowski off. And I was like, no. Dave hasn't done the big moves since he's been here for good reason. This Phillies farm system was in shambles when Dave got here. They've rebuilt the farm system, they have retooled it, and they have been calculated when they move certain guys. And it's a credit to the Phillies farm system and player development and the Phillies as a whole to get Mick Abel back on track to where you could utilize him to go and get Duran. This time last year, people were genuinely thinking Mick Abel's career could be over and he wouldn't sniff the majors.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a credit to Mick Abel for figuring things out, but it's also a credit to the Phillies player development and just the organization as a whole to get him back on track to be a commodity in a trade like this.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a fleecing, but we really got the best player available on the market, at least in the relief pitching, closing pitching area. And Man, Dave did it again.
And, I saw a lot of people, like, I think it was, relatively this time of the year, it was in June, but Edmundo Sosa, in my opinion, for the most part, has been the best pound for pound, what you gave up, what you got in return acquisition that Dave Dombrowski has made.
Yep.
This could really, and the reports are Mick Abel's going to AAA for the Twins to start off, and Tate is going to Single A for the Twins.
Yep.
You traded two guys that aren't even going to be on the Twins major league roster to start.
Yep.
And Duran is going to be available for you on Friday night to kick off this weekend homestand against the Tigers.
Yeah.
That's a win and a half. Yeah. And now you have your big arm at the back end of the bullpen that they have not had in the Rob Thompson managerial era of this run. They have not had a closer ever. No, it's been a shared role between Jeff Hoffman, Carlos Estevez, Matt Strom, Jose Alvarado. Like, the list goes on and on of guys. Yeah. Zach Eflin was closing games for this team in 2022. Like, they have their best closer since, Papelbon was great for this team. It was just wrong timing when he was here.
Yep.
But, like, Duran could end up being, like, the 08 Lidge. He could end up being a Tug McGraw. He could end up being an all-time reliever for this team.
Because we really haven't had a reliever of that caliber since Lights Out Lidge.
Right, when it mattered. Like, we had the Ken Giles and Papelbon, like, who were electric.
Yeah.
But the team overall stunk.
Exactly. But now that's a different story here.
And I gotta say, because if my memory serves me correct, Harrison, and I know you were a little bit younger than me when Papelbon was here, but Papelbon used to run out of the bullpen to For Whom the Bell Tolls.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
They used to sync up the bell to ring and move to the tune of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Ooh.
If you don't know, JHOAN DURAN has the most electric fuego bullpen entrance music that kicks off with the Undertaker's bell chime.
Yeah. If we sync up the music.
We need that bell to be synced up to the Undertaker bell chime when he runs out of that bullpen.
Yeah, it's necessary.
And when I first saw his entrance, all I could think about was what that entrance is going to be like during Red October.
Oh, it's going to be electric.
And it's going to blow your brains apart.
Yes.
With all of the updated sound system and colors on those video screens that got updated and just the energy that's going to be in that stadium. I am so happy that this guy is a Philly because he is the quintessential piece that they've been missing. And I know Dave Dombrowski said in his availability after today's loss to the White Sox that they were pretty much done with the bullpen. Like, they view the bullpen as complete. You know, you're gonna have David Robertson pretty soon, which I'm still very excited about. It's a fresh arm, a guy who knows how to pitch in big games. You have Matt Strom, you have a Ryan Kerkering, you have Tanner Banks. You're going to have Jose Alvarado towards the end of August and into September for the remainder of the regular season. That's pretty good firepower at the back end of this bullpen right now. But also, Dave Dombrowski said last year when they got Carlos Estevez that they were done with the bullpen and then turned around and got Tanner Banks. So I'm not necessarily closing the door that they won't potentially go and get another arm. And who knows, maybe one of these trades for an outfielder, if they're able to seal the deal there, includes a reliever. You never know. But I feel so much better about where this bullpen and how it gets lengthened now, knowing you have that staple horse in the back end with Duran. That makes it so that Kerkering can come in the 8th. Strom can come in the 7th. Tanner Banks can come in the 6th if you need him to. We're not even talking about long men in the bullpen right now. That's just like your top 4 arms. We're not even talking about Jose Alvarado just yet. We're not even talking about David Robertson just yet. Like this bullpen, by getting a guy that is a bona fide closer, lengthens this bullpen and makes it more of a legit bullpen than it was just a day ago. And that should excite you if you're a Phillies fan.
Yep. It's going to be great. Like, we've actually turned it around here. And once he gets going in Philadelphia, I think it's going to be hard to stop him. It really is.
And, I mean, yes, the Mets went and made moves today. They went and got one of the Rogers brothers. I think it was Tyler Rogers.
Yeah. They gave up a hell of a lot more than we gave up for Duran.
For Tyler Rogers, who very, very good pitcher, not great. You know, he's having a very good year in San Francisco. But what they gave up is kind of wild. They gave up 3 players for a guy who's a setup man, who's a submariner, doesn't really throw all that. He's 34.
Yep.
And this, to me, was a move the Mets made to full-blown counter the Phillies. Because the Phillies right-handers against Tyler Rogers in their careers are abysmal. And I know he's a right-handed pitcher, but when you go righty on righty, it's an advantage for the pitcher. Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, and Trey Turner, I think it was in the mix of the hitters there. They're like a combined hitting 159 in their career against Tyler Rogers. To me, that was the Mets going and getting a Phillies right-handed bat neutralizer. And then they went and got Ryan Helsley, which Harrison, I know a lot of people were saying Ryan Helsley could be a good fit for the Phillies. I wouldn't have hated it if they got him. But the Mets got the lesser closer today. And Ryan Helsley, everyone's talking about, oh, he's a big game pitcher. He's pitched in the postseason. Harrison, do you know what my lasting memory of Ryan Helsley is?
What?
It's Gene Segura getting that nice little bloop single in St. Louis in 2022 to kick off a magical World Series run for the Fighting Phillies. Okay, that's what I remember about big game Ryan Helsley.
Oh, now he's in New York, and now he's just going to let that happen again and again.
Now he's in the Lowell Mets culture.
Yeah, even better. Oh, he's so done for. He's so done for.
The Mets gave up 6 players today to get 2 guys back. The Phillies gave up 2 for 1. The Mets and the Phillies have been in the arms race, allegedly by multiple insiders out there, for Luis Robert Jr. The Phillies still have the more ammunition, in my opinion, to go and get the guy now, if that is the guy they want.
Yeah. I think that'd be sick.
It would be amazing. But before we keep talking trades, Harrison, I do got to give my tip of the cap here. Nice little tip of the cap to Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski gets our tip of the cap on this episode.
Oh, easily.
And our tip of the cap is brought to you by our awesome pals at 47. Harrison, did you see who the new spokesman for the 47 Carhartt collection is?
I have not. No. Who?
That's our good dear personal friend, now brand teammate, Bryce Harper.
Oh, hell yeah.
So what we getting done today?
The usual.
My mama told me before I left my town. My mama told me
Perfect.
I'm going home.
Bryce Harper's part of the 47 brand team. Bubba Wallace, also part of Team 47. It's it's cool having big time athletes be part of the same brand family as us. The 47 Carhartt collection is impeccable. I love that it's available in every major league stadium now. It's available in all 5 designs in terms of hat shape that you could want. And 47's our go-to hat brand of choice. We love 47 here. I've been rocking 47 for over a decade. They're truly the most comfortable hats. If you saw the studio desk right now, it is just littered with 47 hats. Truly the best hat brand. Harrison, I don't think I've been able to show you this yet, actually. I got this bad boy at Citizens Bank Park when I was there last. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah. Ooh, that's it. That's it.
Bang.
That's so
All-Star Game 47 hitch style. Available at Citizens Bank Park, no less. You guys can get free shipping on all orders when you shop with our link in the description. Join the 47 family and get free shipping on all orders from our friends at 47. Check out all of their collections. They're dropping new stuff, what feels like every single day at this point. Definitely check out the MLB Carhartt collection, plus so much more. They got the ice cream collection now too, Harrison. Every baseball team with the nice little ice cream helmet situation in shirts and hats. It's absolutely beautiful. Use our link in the description. Shop with our friends at 47, and we thank them for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Tip of the cap to Dave Dombrowski, because this is just an impeccable day for him in his Phillies tenure. This will go down as his best trade, I think, to date. You know, who knows what else is coming, but so far, so good in terms of moves that Dave has made at this deadline. This immediately jettisons up the list of being a top 3 trade Dave Dombrowski has made.
Yeah.
You know, you have your Edmundo Sosa trade. Brandon Marsh, say what you want about it. You know, Logan O'Hoppe, this, that, and the third. Brandon Marsh has turned into a pretty damn good baseball player for this team, and that was 3 years ago that you traded for him. It's worked out pretty well for both teams, and at the end of the day, that's what teams want to really do, is have trades work out for both sides. And Brandon Marsh has been, his resurgence this year has helped the Phillies in a lot of ways. Like, he was struggling to start the year, and his resurgence since coming back from the injured list has really helped this team get to where they are so that they can be in a position to go and get a JHOAN DURAN. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, this is a huge development, and Duran is going to go down as one of the best moves that Dave Dombrowski will make as head of baseball operations for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, as we approach the trade deadline, which is less than 24 hours away, Harrison, Dave Dombrowski spoke after the game, said they feel comfortable with the bullpen. David Robertson's essentially a deadline acquisition. Rest of the regular season, Jose Alvarado is essentially a deadline acquisition. The outfield is the thing that he mentioned that they're going to try and, you know, go and get upgrades for.
Yep.
Who would you want to see in Philly pinstripes if you could pick one of these outfielders that are potentially available for trade? Who is the outfielder you want Dave to go and trade for, and why?
Oh, see, that's tough. I got to think about this one. If it'll let me take a look here, so I've been keeping track, on like who could be moved, who could go somewhere. Let's see here. Where was this? But there's so many deadline people at the deadline who could move and become a Philly. I was thinking JHOAN DURAN, double up on the Durans, maybe Stephen Kwan.
Duran has been in the conversation. That would throw every human in Philadelphia that calls into sports talk radio for a loop to figure out who they were talking about.
I'm talking about Duran. Yeah, which one? I like Stephen Kwan too, though.
I would love Stephen Kwan on this team. You want to talk about lengthening this lineup where you could go on any given day, Stephen Kwan leading off, Trey Turner leading off, Kyle Schwarber leading off, like whatever you wanted to do. I still would love Luis Robert on this team. I think he is the ultimate change of scenery guy. I know he's only hitting 206, but I feel like the power and the tools are still there, and his speed is there. And you put him in his lineup between Harper and Schwarber and Castellanos when he's on, and Bohm when he's back,
Yeah.
and Trey, like
Adolis
he would
Garcia would be pretty nice too.
he's another one that would be fascinating. I just
Yeah.
don't know if the Rangers are a smart baseball team and would trade him since they're 4 games over 500 right now. And sitting
Who feels the most like a Philadelphia Philly though for some odd reason? Cedric Mullins.
that's
just-
the one guy I want them to avoid. And that's nothing against Cedric.
Yeah, nothing on Cedric, but he does like for some odd reason, like I want to avoid him as well because I think he's having a not great year. Nothing against him.
He's a guy that's declining
Yeah.
fast.
But he just for some odd reason feels like a Philly.
Yeah. There's a number of guys out there that would make sense. I mean, the Angels were buyers today, which makes no sense to me. So that probably takes Taylor Ward off the table, which sucks. I wish the Mariners were a little worse because I would love Randy Arozarena on this team.
Yeah.
But if you can go and get a Stephen Kwan or a Luis Robert Jr., or like you said, Adolis Garcia, and that's not even talking like National League guys where like you can go and get, maybe you call the Twins again and kind of do what you did in 2022 where you make 2 separate trades like they did with the Angels to go and get Brandon Marsh, and then they got Noah Syndergaard afterwards. Maybe you call the Twins again and go and get like a Harrison Bader.
Yeah.
And have him in the outfield with this team. Maybe you call, I don't know, it looks like the Giants are selling. Maybe you go and call the Giants and see what they have to offer. Maybe you call the Diamondbacks and fulfill my prophecy and get Lourdes Gurriel Jr. on this team. There's a number of players that you could go and get and potentially upgrade here. Not that I ever want them to trade in the division, but maybe you call the Nationals and see what it would take to get, maybe one of their outfielders or something like that, Kyle Finnegan maybe to add to this bullpen. But I do feel like there's another move looming. I just don't know what it's going to be. And we've had some surprise trades today. Like Ke'Bryan Hayes getting traded from the Pirates to the Reds threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
The dude has 5 years. He's under control for 5 more years. And the Pirates are eating the whole contract, or the Reds are paying the whole contract, but they traded one of their best pitchers to get him.
Yeah.
It was a wild trade. I just saw the Cubs went and acquired Mike Soroka. So that's the pitching help that the Cubs were looking for.
Literally just happened while we were recording.
Right. And I know JHOAN DURAN has been in the mix with a lot of teams, but the Red Sox are wildly in the mix still. They're 8 games over 500. They're a game back of the Yankees in the standings. I don't understand why they would want to trade him. I don't understand why they would want to trade Aroldis Chapman. Not that I want Chapman on this team now because we got the superior closer, and I just don't think Chapman's a good dude. But nonetheless, I need the Angels to realize they're not a good baseball team and say, hey, here's Joe Adell or here's Taylor Ward.
Or hey,
I need some of these teams.
Maybe let's just cut your contract and let you walk free and actually go have a chance to win a World Series.
Like, I just need some of these bad teams to recognize, hey, we ain't got it this year. Let's, turn our attention to next year and keep it pushing. Who knows with the Orioles, they're an interesting team, very young outside of Cedric Mullins. And like we said, Cedric Mullins is not the type of guy that I think fits this team. And you would think maybe like Tyler O'Neill, but he's been having a terrible year this year. And I don't know if that's because he's on the Orioles. But there's a lot of players and a lot of teams that could be in the mix here that could be fascinating. I've talked about this a ton with you off the pod, and we've talked about it on pod too. I want the Phillies to go and get a guy who can come off the bench too. And whether it's a platoon, this is why I want Lourdes Gurriel Jr. so bad. He's a right-handed power bat who can play the outfield for you. And then on the days he's not playing, Brandon Marsh can play left field. Okay. And the Phillies have never had a guy during this era who comes off the bench and strikes fear into an opposing pitcher. You know, I always think back to the Atlanta Braves in 2021, and I hate the Braves, but this is one of the things they did well. They remade their entire outfield when Acuna Jr. got hurt, and I hope he's okay, too, with his most recent injury. Shame on the Braves for continuing to play him.
Just an awful, awful organization.
Terrible. But I remember when they reworked their whole outfield, and they went and got Jock Peterson, they went and got Jorge Soler, and they went and got Eddie Rosario. All margin moves. But those guys came up clutch for the Braves in their playoff run. If they can go and get a guy who can do that at this deadline, whether it is a Jorge Soler, whether it is, a Adolis Garcia, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., like one of those guys. And then here's the catch, Harrison. Guess what? Then you can cut ties with Max Kepler.
Yep.
You can call Justin Crawford up. And there's your fixed situation in the outfield.
Yep. There you go. There you go. Easy. It's something Dombrowski could definitely do.
I would love to see it. I'm just gonna be so fat. And I found it fascinating today that like the Pirates, the Phillies were interested in David Bednar, but they balked at the price.
Yep.
I'm glad they balked because we got the better closer.
Yep.
But I didn't know what to make of. I talked about this on Monday's episode. I didn't know what to make of the Phillies, especially with the Eugenio Suarez rumors. It felt very anti-Dombrowski, where all these rumors of players that the Phillies were being tied to kept coming out by the big reporters and stuff. That hadn't happened in the Dombrowski era. Like Brandon Marsh, Noah Syndergaard, Michael Lorenzen, Estevez, all of these moves, even Ian Kennedy and that trade in 2021, like none of the moves Dave has made, Edmundo Sosa even, they've all been like under the radar. And this is the first time with Duran where like the Phillies were tied to him. And then earlier today, like 2 hours before the trade happened, they were saying that the Twins were asking for Andrew Painter and the Phillies were hesitant, which they should be. They shouldn't have to give up Andrew Painter for anybody. But then 2 hours later, it's like the Phillies are finalizing a deal, and it's like, what changed? And how are the Phillies tied in to a rumor when they're never the team that is part of the rumor mill?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. We're always like around the rumors, and then things happen, and I'm just glad we wound up with Duran today.
I'm glad we wound up with him. The Mets didn't get him. The Dodgers didn't get him.
Yep. Thank God the Dodgers didn't get, because Shohei went down again today, and
Shohei did get hurt today.
So they're I know he's not typically like he pitches every once in a blue moon, but like if they had gone out and gotten a good closer,
and like they didn't get, like the Cubs didn't get Duran, like the Brewers didn't get Duran, like it could have gone so differently, but the Phillies wound up with the guy.
They
like
did.
This feels like the first time since like the run when year over year on July 29th, it's very funny that it was the day after this time. Typically July 29th was like that day that the Phillies made those moves. They got Cliff Lee on July 29th. They got Roy Oswald on July 29th. They got Hunter Pence on July 29th. Like that was the day that the moves were made.
Yeah.
And those moves there, like those three moves were like, yo, the Phillies got the guy that was available at that deadline. This is the first time during this era that I feel like the Phillies got the guy at the deadline. And that is like wildly exciting because as kids, we were stoked to get Cliff Lee, to get Roy Oswald, to get Hunter Pence, even Joe Blanton and the way he turned out in 08, and Matt Stairs, like they wound up being guys. But like those three in particular, Cliff Lee, Roy Oswald, and Hunter Pence, those were like guys. It was like, holy shit, like this is a seismic move for the Phillies. Going and getting Duran for the back end of this bullpen is getting the guy, and the Phillies finally did it
Yep.
for this era of Phillies baseball, and I love it.
It's insane. Like we're actually doing it. We're actually it's so great. It's so great.
It feels so good. Now, as the Mick Abel believers you and I are, we do have to touch on our sweet baby boy who now departs us. One thing I will say to start this Mick Abel departing Philadelphia eulogy. They can never take away Mick Abel's major league debut where he outdueled Paul Skeens and got a win in his MLB debut against the golden boy of Major League Baseball. We will always have Mick Abel outdueling Paul Skeens in his Major League debut. Mick Abel means a lot to me as a player, and I'm not like a prospect hugger. You know, I'm not the guy that's like, don't trade your prospects. You need them. Like, that's not me. If you need to use them, use them. Mick Abel's important to me because, Harrison, during that era of Phillies baseball, when the Phillies were just ungodly terrible, 2013 to 2021, I was doing what Sixers fans were doing during the process. I was doing that with Phillies prospects. I was doing that with building this Phillies team. Myself and Dylan Mazzola were always just looking at the next guy that could be a part of this team, who could be an emerging face. And when the Phillies went and drafted the way that they did, going and getting guys like Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott, that felt like a turning of the leaf when it came to their way of drafting.
Yeah.
And then 2020 came and they drafted Mick Abel, and it was like, whoa, they're drafting a high school pitcher. This didn't, like, the Phillies had always gone college outfield bat aside from Mickey Moniak, because that draft, and this is no slight to Mickey, good for him still being in the majors and doing his thing with the Rockies right now. But like that draft, there was no like consensus number one guy. It was a weird draft here that the Phillies just so happened to end up with the number one pick in. But it was always drafting the college outfielder, drafting the project outfielder, drafting the guy who you didn't really know what you were going to get in him. And then Mick Abel falls into your lap in that 2020 draft. And it's like, whoa, we're getting like a big name high school pitcher that is from Oregon. A lot of people are high on, and this could be like a future piece of this rotation with Aaron Nola, with Zach Wheeler. Like, this is awesome. And then he went and drafted Andrew Painter. Yeah. And then he went and drafted Justin Crawford. And then he went and drafted Aiden Miller. Like, Mick Abel was a beacon of light to me during a very, very down year, especially because it was 2020.
Yeah.
And I always believed in Mick Abel. I always thought he was going to make his MLB debut with the Phillies. I always thought he was going to be a piece for this team. And he's someone that, like, I'll always think fondly of. I will always root for Mick Abel. And I want to see him succeed in Minnesota or wherever he ends up. I want to see Mick Abel succeed. Just because, like, he worked his ass off to get back to where he was this year. It was a struggle for a couple of years down in the minors, where he was dealing with issues with walks, couldn't really find his command, and you didn't know if it was going to work. You didn't know if it was going to pan out. Like, Mick Abel's still wildly young. He's only 23 years old. Okay? That's crazy to think about, especially when you drafted him in 2020. But I think he has such a bright future ahead of him. Minnesota Twins fans, if you're listening to this for some odd reason, thank you for Duran, but you're also getting a winning type pitcher in Mick Abel, who I think you're absolutely going to love. He's like the pros pro. He reminds me a lot of like a young Aaron Nola, where so many people are torn on Aaron Nola. You're either on the side like you and I are, where like we're big Nola guys, or you're over here and you just find a way to complain about him for whatever reason. Mick Abel feels like the same way, where a lot of people are like, yo, I believe in Mick. Why not Mick? And then other people are over here like, oh, this guy stinks. Like, get him out of here, blah, blah, blah. I have always had high hopes for Mick Abel, and I hope that continues for him in Minnesota, and I will be rooting for him no matter where he goes, because he was such a beacon of light during a weird time in our lives and just a fascinating period of the Phillies rebuild that I will always remember Mick Abel as like kind of a turning point for the way that the Phillies drafted and did prospect development, and I'll be forever grateful for him no matter what.
Yeah. So funny enough, I am kind of connected within 3 degrees of Mick Abel because my brother's friends from college are actually Mick's high school friends.
Oh shit.
And so we were getting regaled with all the stories about Mick Abel. And he seems like a really cool dude, just a genuine good guy. And I wish him nothing but the best out in Minnesota. Wish it could have turned out better out here in Philadelphia because, again, I said him leaving was for the best, not in terms of the fact that he wouldn't have made it here in Philadelphia, but just because he needed playing time and he was just not going to get that here. He's going to get that playing time out in Minnesota. It looks like he's figuring his career out, and I think he's going to be a star one day. And Minnesota, you got yourselves a good one. So enjoy him.
Yeah. Also, I have a weird couple degrees of separation connection to Mick Abel because in Philadelphia this year at Villanova, obviously Mick is from Oregon. Ajax Zapatello from the Maryland Whipsnakes walked in for arrivals for the Whipsnakes game wearing a powder blue Mick Abel jersey.
Oh, that's so sick.
Which I was like, that's pretty sick because Ajax is also from Oregon.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see as well. Also, we have some breaking news. According to Mark Feinsand, the Reds are reportedly acquiring right-handed pitcher Zach Little from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Interesting. Okay.
So another reliever on the move.
Yep.
And the St. Louis Cardinals have officially made the Ryan Helsley trade official as well. I love this move. I know Dave's not done, and I just want everyone to give us their thoughts, Harrison. I want people to call into our voicemail line and just dial it up. Let me know what you think about this trade, how you're feeling about Duran coming to Philadelphia, your expectations, and just all your thoughts. When take us through the lineage of your thoughts from the moment you saw the trade happen to when you found out who the players involved were, all of it. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. We want to hear from you. So leave us a voicemail there and let us know your thoughts on Duran coming to Philadelphia, baby. Before we keep it pushing, I want to talk to you guys about some awesome sponsors we have. Our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, there's no better merch partners out there than PHI Apparel Company with their unique designs for all. There's no doubt in our minds you will stand out in the crowd, whether you're going to Citizens Bank Park to watch the Duran show this coming weekend, or if you're just hanging out with friends, kicking it at the bar, chilling at home. Look your best with our friends at PHI Apparel Company. Go to phiapparel.co, and when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND. You'll get 10% off your entire merch order from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Again, that's phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. And stand out in the crowd with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Harrison, are you ready for some underground stats and info, my good friend? It's been a while since you've been tapped into seeing some run differentials, some platinum plunk standings as we sit here a couple days before the end of the month. We'll have our July Platinum Plunk Award winners coming to you soon, but we'll start with some run differentials for you.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
start with the, unfortunately, in first place by a half game, New York Mets. They're 62-47. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
Give me their runs scored.
They have scored 473 runs so far this season, which is second most in the division.
Okay. I'm going to say plus 67.
They are at a plus 43. I will say you have correctly guessed the Phillies run differential.
No fucking shot. God damn it.
You have correctly guessed on the dot. The Philadelphia Phillies run differential is a plus 67. They are 61-47 on the year. They've scored 504 runs, which is the most in the division. They've surrendered 437, which is the second fewest in the division, for a plus 67 run differential.
All right. I'll take that.
We go to the third place, Miami Marlins,
Oh, they
who are
can't be
52-55. I will give you a hint. No other team in the division has a positive run differential. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
Runs against, please.
They have surrendered 500 runs on the dot this season, which is the second most in the division.
Minus 39.
You're in the ballpark. They're at a minus 47. They have surrendered 453, or they've scored 453. They've surrendered 500. We go to, it's comically hilarious, Harrison. They're only a game and a half out of last place.
Nice.
The 45-62 Atlanta Braves, 2-8 in their last 10. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
Against.
They have surrendered 467 runs, which is right in the middle for the division.
Okay, I'm gonna guess they're right around the middle too in terms of runs scored.
They are actually the fewest runs scored in the division.
Okay. I'm gonna say like a minus. I'm feeling something about the 30. I'm gonna say minus 33.
You are in the ballpark, minus 24.
Damn.
Minus 24. Weird team this year. Weird
Yeah,
team.
very, very weird.
We go to the last place, Washington Nationals, who are 44-64. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
Give me the runs against for sure.
They've surrendered the most runs in the NL East at 573.
Oh, I feel like this has got to be a jump from all of the other ones. I'm gonna say minus 103.
You're in the ballpark, minus 110.
Damn.
They have scored 463.
Yeah, I
and
was
they've
gonna
surrendered
say that.
573.
I was trying to remember. I knew they had a big run differential. It was like a minus 90 something last we checked.
Big gap. Which takes us to the NL Central, where the Brewers are now in first place in that division. They have a plus 95 run differential. Also, my brain just went in a pretzel seeing the Brewers in first place. Look at how far they've come, because Harrison, they were the first victims, and it's crazy that this was this season. They were the first victims of the torpedo bat.
Yeah, they were. Oh my god.
That was this year.
That
feels like it was a decade ago.
I forgot that. Honestly, I forgot the torpedo bat was even a thing.
Facts.
Like that is not. Oh.
But the
Okay.
Brewers are in first place. They have a plus 95 run differential. The Cubs are in second place with a plus 113 run differential. The Reds are in third with a plus 44 run differential. The Cardinals have a minus 9 run differential. And the Pirates are at a minus 51. The Dodgers are at a plus 67 in the NL West. The Padres are at a plus 32. The Giants are at a plus 5. The Diamondbacks are at a minus 12. And Harrison, we come to the 28-80 Colorado Rockies. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
Please give me the runs against. I need to know.
Their runs against this season, 665, which is the most in Major League Baseball by a wide margin.
Minus. I mean, it's got to be minus 200 something. It just.
Oh,
has-
yes.
But where in 200 is it? I'm gonna say minus 2. We're gonna do a funny number. 269.
You're in the ballpark, minus 277.
I don't hate my guess. I don't hate my guess.
Which they've played 108 games so far. They are on pace to surrender 997.5 runs this year.
Yeah.
We're so close to them being back on track for 1K. We need the 1K surrendered. We move to the American League. The Toronto Blue Jays have a plus 23 run differential. The Yankees are at a plus 96. The Red Sox are at a plus 68. The Tampa Bay Rays are at a plus 53. And the Orioles are at a minus 67. The Detroit Tigers are at a plus 81. The Cleveland Guardians are at a minus 29. The Kansas City Royals are at a minus 18. The Twins are at a minus 33. And the White Sox are at a minus 64. And then the AL West, the Houston Astros are at a plus 49. The Mariners are at a plus 17. The Rangers are at a plus 69. Nice. The Angels are at a minus 63. And the Oakland A's, yes, the Oakland A's are at a minus 118. And those are your run differentials around Major League Baseball and, of course, the NL East. And we move to the Platinum Plunk standings as we are 1 day away from the final day of July, which we will crown our July winners very, very soon. But we've had some shakeups in the standings quite a bit. And last time we recorded, we had a three-way tie for the overall team lead in the Platinum Plunk standings. But right now, Randy Arozarena leading the way in all of Major League Baseball and leading the American League with 18 hit by pitches. He has tied the winning total for the National League from last season.
Damn.
Last year, Jock Peterson and Jurickson Profar were hit by 18 pitches. That was the most in the National League all last year.
Ooh.
Randy Arozarena has been hit by 18 as we sit here on July 30th. He's 4 pitches away from tying his American League leading total from last season of 22 with 2 months to go.
Oh my God.
And leading the National League, who is 1 pitch away from tying that number 18, is St. Louis Cardinals first baseman Wilson Contreras. He is sitting at 17 on the season. We go to our Philadelphia Phillies standings, still at the top with 8 hit by pitches so far this year, Kyle Schwarber. Right behind him, though, he was surging for a little bit. He's at 6 all by himself in second place. Otto Kemp, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Alec Boehm are all at 4. Sitting at 3, Max Kepler, Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, and Edmundo Sosa are both at 2. Bryson Stott, Rafael Marchand, both at 1. Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas, and Weston Wilson, the only players on the current Phillies roster who have yet to be hit by a pitch this season. And now we go to the hit by pitch category for the team totals. And they've separated themselves from the pack once again. The 3-time Platinum Plunk monthly award winner, Minnesota Twins, are back at the top heading into the final days of this month. They have been hit by a league-leading 64 pitches so far this season. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are right behind them at 62. The New York Mets and Seattle Mariners are both at 60. The Orioles are at 54. The Cardinals are at 53. The Diamondbacks are at 51. The Red Sox and Astros are both at 50. The Tigers are at 49. The Brewers and Giants are at 46. The Rangers and Nationals are at 44. The Yankees and Blue Jays are at 43, which is league average. The Reds are at 42. The Royals are at 41. The Dodgers are at 39. Our Phillies are at 38 as a team. The Guardians are at 37. The Rockies, Pirates, and Rays are all at 33. The Braves are at 32. The Padres are at 31. The Cubs are at 30. The Athletics and White Sox are at 28. And the Miami Marlins are in dead last at 26. And those are your Platinum Plunk Award standings as we head into the final days of July here. Brought to you by our awesome pals over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, New Jersey, and Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. Harrison, it's been a wild couple of hours today for the trade deadline. And I got to say, there's one perfect place for us to kick it, relax, and wind down after a wild trade deadline. And that's our new partners at 5-Iron Golf. I told you about this pre-pod, and I knew you were super excited about it. And you know what I'm super excited about? There's a 5-Iron Golf in every market that we have somebody who works for this company at. There's ones in Philly. There's ones in New York. There's ones in Chicago for DJ. There's ones in Detroit for DJ. And there's ones in Boston for Patty Pitts. Plus, there's ones all across the country that you can hang out with our friends at 5-Iron Golf at. They've got their simulators. They do club fittings. They do so much at 5-Iron Golf. I was talking to Owen today about this, Harrison, because obviously upcoming this weekend too, we have our Underground Circuit live show at the F1 Arcade following the Hungarian GP that you don't want to miss. If you want to get your GA tickets, it's linked in the description. I was like, we should do just a fun kickback, even if it's just like the local people. Just go to 5-Iron Golf and have a nice little company outing together.
Oh, I definitely agree.
It would be an absolute blast. If you're in the Philadelphia area.
For happy hour, they got $5 pizza, $5 wings, $5 beers. Not a bad move.
5s across the board, baby. And you guys can use our link in the description and book your visit to 5-Iron Golf. Multiple locations in the Philadelphia area, Logan Square, Fishtown, and Rittenhouse. So you can check those out. Plus, you can check out all of their locations on their website and book your outing at 5-Iron Golf. And shout out to 5-Iron Golf for being a new partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. And like I mentioned, Harrison, we have our Underground Circuit live show coming up this weekend, this Sunday, at 9 a.m. Eastern. The Hungarian GP lights out, away we go at the F1 Arcade in Philly. And immediately after the race, we have a live recording of Underground Circuit with Casey and Owen. It's going to be an absolute doozy of a time. Come on out. Simulators will be open during the race. It's going to be an awesome time. Get your GA tickets by using the link in the description and get 25% off a GA ticket when you use code UNDRGRND25. Underground is spelled just like Underground Circuit. It's no vowels except that beginning U, UNDRGRND 25 to get 25% off a GA ticket. Come hang out for the Underground Circuit live podcast recording and, of course, for the Hungarian GP at the F1 Arcade in Philly. Let's talk a little birds, Harrison. It's been a while since we've talked some birds. Jalen Hurts is just dropping incredible quotes once again.
I mean, he's Jalen Hurts. He's got to, you know?
He's just out here like fueling me. I feel like Thanos dropping Infinity Stones into my gauntlet. He dropped just an absolute bar on the Eagles practicing through the heat. He said, fatigue makes cowards of us all. Put it on a shirt. Tattoo it on my forehead. Like, just incredible. Like,
so good.
And you know what? Everyone under the sun, all pun intended, that hate on Jalen Hurts, that can't stand him, you know they're punching the air when they see him dropping these iconic quotes like this during training camp.
They're losing their mind. Absolutely going crazy.
It's amazing.
Keep hating, losers, because we're just going to keep doing our thing.
Exactly. Some notable things from training camp, and this is the thing too. Harrison knows this about me from when he first worked for the company. Like, I don't like talking training camp. Yeah. If you're talking training camp about your team, you either have a bad football team or you're being hyped up to the moon and you're going to end up being bad. The Eagles, I'm not worried about training camp. I just want everyone to be healthy coming out of training camp. That's my number one and only thing I care about. The things that have been notable outside of Jalen Hurts and Vic Fangio's phenomenal quotes about the Heat. Vic Fangio did talk about Adoree Jackson and basically said this has to be the place where he either puts up or shuts up. And it doesn't feel like Adoree has really shown anything to Vic Fangio just yet, which is interesting as a free agent signing. also said that he was a Howie Roseman signing, not somebody that he kind of was in the discussion about bringing in. Like, he wasn't somebody that Vic was like, hey, Howie, go get him. It was a Howie Roseman went and got that guy. The other news that I love for my personal brand, I don't know if we've ever talked about if this is one of your hashtag guys either, but have you heard who's turning heads at training camp?
I mean, I've been following it loosely, but who in particular are we talking about here?
That is one of my white whale interviews on this show. My muse, Jalix Hunt.
I did hear he's having himself a training camp right now.
He's having himself a training camp. He's turning heads for the coaches, turning heads for his teammates. And I got to tell you, everyone, I saw it from the jump. Everyone said they drafted him too early when they drafted him in 2024. They said he wouldn't get on the field, and then he was making big plays in the Super Bowl. And now he's turning heads when he's going to get a full-blown opportunity to be a big-time contributor in this defensive line rotation. I love going on the hunt. Jalix Hunt is one of my guys. And here's my thing too, Harrison. When you are in the Eagles organization, it's one of those numbers that it's never going to be retired, but it's a sign of respect and a sign of like, oh, you better live up to the expectations of that number. Number 58 in the Eagles organization is that number.
It's a vaunted number. Like, the history with that number is a big one.
Like, for context, if some of our listeners are too young or don't remember, some of the big names to wear number 58 in the Eagles organization. First and foremost, Ike Reese.
Ike Reese.
I think Ike Reese kind of made that number initially famous, and then the torch was handed over the very next year to Trent Cole, who made it.
You couldn't grow up in our time of growing up and not be a Trent Cole guy.
So it goes from Ike Reese to Trent Cole to then someone who I think did the number justice and won Super Bowl in that number, Jordan Hicks.
Jordan did do that number justice for sure.
And now, after a couple blips on the radar where some players didn't live up to it, LJ Fort, Jannard Avery, Jalix Hunt is living up to the moniker that is number 58. And it is so weird that, like, it's a number that hasn't been worn all that much. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 players in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles who have worn number 58.
Yep.
And in the time frame of 1998 to 2024, 2025, if you want to consider this year, obviously, the number has some weight to it. From Ike Reese to Trent Cole to Jordan Hicks. Hell, I'll even give Kyron Johnson a little bit of a tip of the cap when he wore it in 2022, but it was a short blip on the radar, so I don't really justify it in that same vein.
Yep.
But now Jalix Hunt is living up to the moniker that number carries. And it's so weird how certain numbers in organizations get this type of like gravitational pull on them. Like, each team in sports, you kind of know that number that floats around, and it becomes a staple number of your organization that you don't retire, but it becomes a symbol of respect. It becomes a big time shoes to fill number. But if you do it well, you get put in the history books of that organization. And number 58 is exactly that for the Eagles, because when you see 58 on that defense, you're expecting big time plays from that guy wearing that number.
Yeah. It's just that number. It means more. And I think Jalix this year, he's going to have this opportunity to prove himself. And if he plays like he's doing in camp right now, I mean, with Vic Fangio's defense, it's going to be an issue.
I'm very excited for the year that Jalix Hunt's going to have. Jihad Campbell looks phenomenal, and he's wearing like 2-inch inseam shorts in practice. He's letting all of the thigh breathe, and I love that from our South Jersey brethren.
It's sick. It's so perfect.
It's amazing. I also just like it's not one of those things that, like I said, like I don't get excited about training camp anymore. Like
Oh,
it's not one of those things that I'm spending my hours on, especially because we have a great baseball team, especially
Yep.
because we have a great soccer team going down at the Sub. But training camp, like, it doesn't do anything for me. You know, it's like one of those things where, like, if you're getting excited about training camp, like the reasons I mentioned prior, you either have a bad football team or your football team's getting hyped up for quote unquote winning free agency in the draft, and you're still going to be absolute dog water. But like, if you're getting hyped up for training camp, it's like, how sad does it have to be that like you don't have other good sports in your sports city, that you're getting excited for guys like that are barely wearing pads and just doing like drills in July? Like, to me, that's just a sad existence. I don't know how you feel about that, but like, that's how I felt. That, like, over the past couple of years, I've really garnered that belief, and it's like, man, it must suck to not have other good sports teams in your city if you're getting excited about training camp this early.
yeah. It really must suck. Couldn't be us.
Could not be us, which I love. I love it, and I love that we're coming into this, like, it's also fascinating to me that we're coming into another NFL season before we know it, and we're not getting any buzz about like us being the Super Bowl champions. And I love Jordan Mailata's quote a couple days ago too, saying we're not defending shit. Like, we're not the defending champs. I loved that. But like every other year, no matter who wins the Super Bowl, it's always the talk about like, oh, here's the defending champs. They got better on, but there's been nothing outside of people trying to debate what number quarterback Jalen Hurts is in the quarterback rankings list all summer long. And it just makes me chuckle. It makes me laugh that that's what we're worried about when the Eagles have the possibility to be even better in 2025 than they were in 2024.
Hey, and let me just say this to silence some doubters. You put Jalen Hurts on the 2015 Panthers, they win the Super Bowl.
He'd fall on that ball.
Yeah, he'd fall on the ball. He wouldn't drop it in the first place.
That's true. Yeah,
So,
that whole situation is
it's
like
a mess.
mind-numbingly stupid. Like, Cam Newton, it's okay to admit that you are jealous that Jalen Hurts has accomplished things that you were not able to do.
Yes.
Like,
And
that's what it all boils down to.
you know,
Cam Newton is jealous.
Yeah, he still had a great career. That MVP season was unreal. But Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl.
He's jealous of Jalen Hurts not only winning a Super Bowl, but Jalen Hurts also just continuing to get better and progressing in his career, and then also breaking or on the cusp of breaking a lot of the records that Cam broke during his prime that a lot of people didn't think would ever get touched.
Yeah. Because Jalen Hurts is just that guy.
And that's what it boils down. Like, Cam Newton is just a jealous human being. And it sucks because I think Cam provides a lot of good to the sports media landscape, but then he does stuff like this, and it really tarnishes what he does to the sports media landscape. And then he just becomes another one of those former players who thinks they can talk the sport because they played the sport. And that's not always the case.
Old man screams at cloud.
It's unfortunate. And I just, it has been wild to just watch the spiral that Cam Newton has been on because of Jalen Hurts.
Down.
And that's probably an understatement. Also, we have breaking news from Lachlan March, who covers the Phillies for the Inquirer. She said JHOAN DURAN told Dave Dombrowski and Preston Mattingly today that he'd do anything they wanted him to do. The Phillies want him to be their closer. With Duran in the mix, Rob Thompson is changing his bullpen strategy.
Good.
Love it.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, training camp quotes are fun. Talk to me when actual games start. I'm not even talking about preseason. Talk to me when actual
Week
games
one.
start.
Talk to me week 1.
I also love Tanner McKee's quotes today saying that he wants, like when he got the call that he was going to be the backup quarterback this year, he was super excited and he said he wants to be in Philadelphia as long as possible.
Good. Tanner McKee, he's got a gun on him.
He's a guy. He is to me, not that Nick Foles wasn't polished, but he reminds me a lot of Nick Foles, but in a more polished sense of like if Foles came into a game back in the day, it was an unknown kind of how he would perform to a degree. Tanner McKee comes into a game and like I feel comfortable because he just seems like he's ready for any moment. And that's no slight on Foles. I fucking love Nick Foles. But I'm talking like early days Nick Foles, like 2013, 2014 era. You didn't really know what you were going to get because it was Chip Kelly. It was a whole mess. Tanner McKee comes in. He's learned from Jalen Hurts. He's learned from this coaching staff, and he just feels like you give him the keys to the offense if you need him to, and he can drive the car.
Mm-hmm. I think he's good enough to do that. Yeah, like he does. As you said, he does remind me of like just a little more polished version of Foles, and
like the early days of Foles, and this is the early days of Tanner McKee.
And goddamn, can get that kid throw a ball.
Yes.
Like he
yes,
can
he can
throw a football. So
he's awesome, and I just love his energy. He's such a like an infectious energy on this team, and you need that from your backup quarterback. I feel like that's like any backup like major position. You need that type of energy. You know, we've seen Garrett Stubbs be the vibes guy on the Phillies. I still wish he was kind of on this team, to be honest, but you know, you look at like backup goalies. You know more than anyone with hockey or lacrosse, like you need that guy that is going to be the ultimate vibes guy, the ultimate team guy as the backup. And you need that from your backup quarterback too. That's super important, I think, in this day and age of NFL quarterback play. So shout out to Tanner McKee. He wants to be a lifelong Eagle, man. And I love it. I love that guy. Harrison, shall we close out with some Philadelphia Union chatter?
I believe we shall.
Jacob and I touched on it on Monday's episode, but Union bounced back, get a huge win against Colorado last Saturday. They're back at it this Saturday in a friendly against Eintracht Frankfurt down at the Sub. Little club friendlies action before they get it back into MLS play on August 9th against Toronto. And then, Harrison, I don't know if you got your August schedule yet for the old day job, but I'm really eyeing up that Wednesday, August 13th against the New York Red Bulls for the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal.
Wait. What time?
7:30 p.m.
What time? I'm checking my schedule here. Come on. Sign me in.
Sign them in.
Because I am working that day, but what time am I working till? That's
what time is he working till?
Could swing it.
A good sign on the YouTube. If you're watching on the YouTube, that was a good sign there.
I could swing it. You said it was 7:30, right?
7:30 p.m.
I work till 6.
He works till 6, folks.
I think I could swing it.
I'm gonna check price right now. See what it's looking like, because that would be a fun game to go to.
That would be fun.
Harrison.
How much we talking?
What? Now, I've never been to a Union game. You haven't either, right?
No, I haven't.
Have?
No, the one Philadelphia team I haven't seen.
What is the ideal seating situation for a soccer game?
I would say like just not behind the net. You want a good view of the whole field.
So, I mean, I'm looking at the prices right now.
Honestly, wherever. What can we swing? What can we swing?
I'm looking like there's section 115, which I think is the riverfront end, if I'm not mistaken. So it's behind the goal, but it's on the riverfront end. Section 115, row E. It's $23 a ticket.
That's not bad. That sounds fine. That sounds
There's
perfect.
also, I'm looking here.
Dude, 23
Just
bucks
to
a ticket.
see. Just to see how close some Harrison. We're looking at section 125, which is just beyond midfield, closer to the riverfront end. Section 125, row D. So fourth row, if my math is correct. 2 tickets, $41 each.
That's not bad at all.
Dude, are we going to go see the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal and watch the Union kick the teeth into the New York Red Bulls?
I think we're going to the U.S. Open quarterfinal to watch the Philadelphia Union kick the teeth into the fucking New York Red Bulls.
I just got goosebumps.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's going to be so electric.
I'm so down.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you know one of the coolest aspects of Subaru Park, too?
No, what?
Now, I don't know if this is accurate, but I think it is because I'm pretty sure I saw my good dear friend Jimmy King, who writes for Philly Sports Network, covers the Union for them. If you drive a Subaru, you get free parking.
That's so sick.
It's such a cool aspect of the stadium sponsorship.
Yeah, that is so cool.
But yeah, we might be losing our Philadelphia Union virginity. We might be duping it away. August 13th.
Yeah. I'd be down to dupe it.
A U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal for that cheap? That's crazy town.
Yeah, it's kind of
crazy town. It's kind of wild. But Harrison, they're the best team in the MLS.
They are. By a month.
Like,
they're so fun.
And just by facts, they have 50 points right now, which by far and away clears everyone. Cincinnati's a point behind them at 49. San Diego FC is at the top of the Western Conference with 46 points. Dude, the Union goal differential is what stands out to me and why it feels so much like 2022. They have a plus 19 goal differential, which is by far and away the best in the East, by far away the best in all of MLS. The next closest teams are Nashville, San Diego, and Vancouver, who have a plus 16 goal differential. It just, like, Andre Blake, you want to talk about a guy who doesn't get enough notoriety and love for being an all-time Philly sports athlete, like legend, it's Andre Blake.
Yeah, Andre's that guy. He really is. If you want to talk about Union legends, it's Andre. Like he's the first one I think of.
Him and Bedoya, those two are just Philadelphia sports icons. And I don't think Andre Blake gets enough credit for how consistently dominant he's been at the goalie position.
He's been that dude for so long now.
Like, I don't even remember. Like, I got to look this up. How long has Andre been with the Union?
God, it's been
since 2014. He's been here for over a decade.
Is he the longest, one of the longest tenured athletes in Philadelphia right now, other than like?
So he's been here for 11 years.
How long has Lane been around?
Lane's been here since 2013. I think the longest tenured of the major four is Couturier.
Yeah, I was gonna say Coots has been around since 13, I think.
He's been here since 2011.
Oh shit, oh fuck, you're right. Oh god, oh my god. That hurts.
Yeah, that hurts. It's Coots, then Andre Blake, and then Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
Because
I was gonna say that sounds right for the big five.
Let me double check, because Andre Blake joined in 2014. No, Lane Johnson's before Andre Blake. So it's Coots, Lane Johnson, Andre Blake, because Lane Johnson was drafted in 2013.
Yeah.
So that's your longest tenured there. Nola was 2015 when he got called up to the Phils. He's the longest tenured Philly. And then Embiid is the longest tenured Sixer, and he was drafted in 14.
Yeah, that checks out. Wow.
It's crazy. Like, Andre Blake has been a fixture of Philadelphia sports for nearly as long as Lane Johnson.
Oh my God. And he's not even the fact that he's not thought of as much as a Philly legend is criminal.
Like, he's playing this
Yeah.
well at age 34.
He's a Philadelphia legend, and I don't want to hear anything otherwise.
Like, he is bona fide Philadelphia legend. Like,
Yeah.
he's the type of guy that I never want to see him outside of like the Jamaican national team. I never want to see him in a different uniform.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, he is
a Union player for life.
Like, I think him, I don't know if Bedoya will, but I would love to see it. Andre Blake deserves to be in the Union, like, Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Like, with Sebastian Letou, who I think is the only member.
Does the MLS have a Hall of Fame yet?
That's a good question.
Because if not, he should be in there.
So it's the National Soccer Hall of Fame.
He should be in there.
I agree.
He should absolutely be in there.
For obvious reasons with the Union, and then obviously he's been part of the Jamaican national team. Like, we are going to be at the forefront of championing Andre Blake as an like the Philadelphia Sports like Hall of Fame too. Andre Blake should be inducted into that when his career is all said and done. Like, I know a lot of major four sports guys get inducted, but Andre Blake deserves to be in that, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. He's so cool. He's the man. He's the man.
What do you make of the schedule upcoming? So we have the friendly this coming Saturday, but then you get back into MLS play on the 9th against Toronto. You have the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal against the Red Bulls. Then you go up to North Jersey to play the Red Bulls at their place on August 16th. Then you're home against Chicago, and then you go to Cincinnati, which will probably be your biggest match of the summer, potentially, with a first and second place team playing at the end of August, where your season goes all the way to October. But what do you make of the August schedule, and what's your expectation for points that the Union should be able to pull away from Toronto, New York in MLS play, Chicago, and then Cincinnati?
I'm going to keep the answer real simple here for you. It doesn't matter. We're going to win them all.
I would love that. I would love that.
It genuinely doesn't matter. I feel like this team is built different right now. I think we might be seeing 2 parades down Broad Street before fall is over.
Like, I brought this up to Jacob too. Like, 2022 was the year of the letdown. The Eagles lose the Super Bowl. The Phillies lose the World Series. The Union lose the MLS Cup.
Yep.
2025 could be the ultimate redemption year.
I think it is going to be.
Where the Eagles have overcome the Chiefs and win the Super Bowl. Phillies are top team in baseball. Just got the best closer in the game. And the Union are the best team in the MLS.
Yeah.
And that goes without saying. The Water Dogs won the championship in 2022, and they're very much in the playoff mix right now. And I believe they could clinch a playoff spot this weekend in Denver if they win their game against the Boston Cannons.
Yeah, I agree.
Which, speaking of the Water Dogs, Harrison, I got to show you their throwback jersey from this year.
Oh, I saw it. It was sick. So sick.
I got it right here.
Oh, let's go.
Kelly Green. And you know what? I had to get it with the guy.
Yeah.
The boy, because he scored his 500th career point in this jersey. So I had to get Kieran McArdle. But everyone was shitting on the Kelly Green purple combo. And I think it looks fucking sweet.
It's so sick.
It reminds me of the Mummers.
It does.
I love it. The porthole mesh is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kieran McArdle. He's the man. But yeah, I mean, like, dude, we're going to the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal. Stamp it, book it. We're gonna go to a Union game together, have the time of our lives. And I'm just sad that Kevin Sullivan's gonna end up playing for Manchester City.
It's a shame. Who knows? Maybe he'll join the good guys and transfer to Chelsea or Brighton or something.
That would be incredible. Harrison, any final thoughts on the happenings of today, or any final pleas to Dave Dombrowski.
Dave, please go get Stephen Kwan. That would just make it perfect. Then we'll be done. So
land the plane, Davey. Land the plane. We love you, Dave. That is all we've got for you guys on this one, but our union talk was brought to you by our awesome pals over at Bino. Guys, there's no better way to just welcome yourself to a tailgate, to a party, to get things going in the man cave, the she shed, wherever you may be, than with our friends at Bino. It's paper football meets foosball for the next big tabletop flicking experience. They've got officially licensed Philadelphia Union boards. They've got these new iridescent player pieces, Harrison, that look absolutely stunning on the Bino Classic board with that black turf. They've got the officially licensed Chelsea board, Arsenal, Liverpool, Juventus, and more. Use our link in the description, and when you go to checkout, use code BINOBENNETT62, and you will get 10% off your entire order from our friends at Bino. Again, that's code BINOBENNETT62 when you use the link in the description, and get 10% off your entire order from our friends at Bino. Guys, make sure you're following us on the socials at Underground PHI. I'm pretty sure we're going to be going live on Thursday afternoon as well, as the trade deadline ticks down, and reacting to every move that happens with just seconds left. It's going to be an absolute time. So make sure you're following us on the socials at Underground PHI. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week. Be sure to leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And guys, whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100, Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems for powering our breaking news during this MLB trade deadline, and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 764. JHOAN DURAN is a Philadelphia Philly edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Harrison, I'm KB. Let's see what Dave's got up his sleeves as we head into the final day before the trade deadline. And let's welcome Mr. Duran with open arms on Friday if he does come into the game. And let's celebrate Jimmy Rollins this weekend. It's going to be a doozy of a time during Alumni Weekend at Citizens Bank Park. If you're going to be there on Friday or Sunday, would love to meet up with you guys and say hello. But until then, we will catch you on Monday breaking down this Tigers series, talking more Duran, talking more trade deadline, just turnout and everything that comes from it. But until then, we're getting the heck up out of here. We are signing off. Go Phils. Peace.